Hey kids, it's Miss Beaver Johnson,
And Mr. Nash.
and we're here this time to talk about good development in your writing. When you are going to argue and support your evidence in a paper, you really need to analyze the evidence you put in your paper. So you can't just throw in a bunch of facts without doing a little talking about those facts and saying why the facts you chose are important to the paper and the argument that you're making.
So it's more than just what the book says. We also want to know
What you think
what
about
you
what the
think
book
about it.
says.
Yeah, so it's more about like what's in your head than what's in the book. All right, so let me show you a little strategy. This is what analysis looks like. You're getting down to the numbers here, but let me show you a little strategy as far as how this would work in your paper. So what you have here in this analysis strategy, it's pretty simple. Already you've been kind of shown to do boxes and bullets when you plan a paper. So like in your paper, you would have a claim, which would be the paragraph, one paragraph in your paper, like a body paragraph. And you'd probably have like 2, 3, maybe 4 pieces of evidence that would kind of back that claim up.
Like the facts, the statistics, the numbers.
So if a claim could be something like cell phones will help learning, and then evidence could be this help learning this way, it could help learning this way, whatever the case might be. What we're expecting you to do as an 8th grader is not just to provide evidence from the book, but also to then tell us a little bit about that evidence and why it actually supports that claim.
What conclusions can you draw from the evidence, or what analysis or evaluations have you made of that evidence that supports your argument?
So the claim is your thinking, the evidence is the book's thinking, and the analysis is your thinking, again, about how this evidence relates back to your claim. So in your planning of your paper, do more than just put claim, evidence, evidence, evidence. Add in these little analysis sections as well, and that will help you much more with this planning and actually making your paper better. So let's show you what it looks like in theory, or in practice, I should say. Here is one that I did myself. So my argument for my paper is that cell phones should be allowed in school. That's my overall, I'm arguing that cell phones should be allowed. One of my claims, which is one of my body paragraphs, is that cell phones can be used to help students do research in class. I have found 2 pieces of evidence that support that claim. One, Dr. Berkman states that 60% of all research is done on a mobile device in a study that this doctor did. Secondly, that students who have smartphones are familiar with it and can access the internet quickly and efficiently. Both pieces of evidence support my claim that cell phones can be used to help do research.
But now we need to do a little thinking about that, and what conclusions can we draw from that 60%, or that fact that students are familiar with cell phones? What is the evidence that we can take, the thinking that we can do to put in our paper to make the reader see why that evidence is so important in supporting our claim?
So here's some analysis. This is my thinking. So this is what the doctor said, and here's what I said. Since most research is done on a mobile device, 60%, that's most, that's more than half, students in schools are practicing skills for the real world, and they should be practicing the way real world research is done. And if real world research is done on a mobile device, well, shouldn't our kids be practicing that skill in school?
With a cell phone.
With a cell phone. So all I did is I took this piece of evidence that Dr. Berkman did research on, and I feel like I just made it stronger. I just explained it a little bit
Just
and
talk a
linked
little
it.
bit more about it.
And
And the more analysis you do in your paper, the less analysis the reader will do as they're reading. Because
Yeah.
they'll just be persuaded to go along with what you say.
So if you were picturing me to write this into a paragraph, I put this piece of evidence out there, then look at how this analysis links right back to my claim. Cell phones can be used to help students do research. Well, look at, we're helping them do research in a real world way, and I made that analysis. Now look at my second one here. Students who have smartphones are familiar with it and can access the internet quickly and efficiently. That is a fact. I found that in a book. The analysis is what I took that fact and thought about it a little bit, and this is what I came up with. This is going to save class time, and it's going to allow students to complete assignments faster and with more accuracy. So I've explained this evidence, and I've linked it back to my claim that cell phones are going to help students do research.
Pretty persuasive, right?
It really just makes your, like, if you just put facts in there, like, yeah, it's
facts.
okay. I mean, it's all right. But like, if you were to do the thinking and actually explain why that fact backs up the claim, that's powerful stuff.
That makes your paper really
That's
powerful,
really cool.
and it actually kind of makes the reader a little bit lazy, because now the reader almost stops doing the analysis and just automatically will start to go along with your analysis without realizing they're doing that.
Yep. All right, so now we want you to practice the skill. We have 2 problems set up for you, and we're going to provide you with the argument, the claim, and the evidence, and you're going to do the analysis, just like I've done here for you. So
Ready?
here's the first one. Our argument is that school uniforms would be good for public schools. Our claim is that uniforms would help reduce pressure to fit in, and here are our two pieces of evidence. What we would like you to do now is to pause the video and write two analysis statements for these two pieces of evidence that help support this claim. Pause and do that now. Okay, one more to go. Here's our last one. Now, in this sample, homework should be banned from school, so there should be no homework. And the claim is that homework does not improve academic achievement. Here is two pieces of evidence. Provide analysis for these two pieces of evidence that back up the claim that homework does not improve academic achievement. Just make sure your analysis talks about academic achievement, because that's the claim. Pause and do that now. Okay, so you've now completed the video on analysis and how to back up your evidence with analysis that supports your claims. It's a pretty simple strategy just to include in your planning this one little section where you're actually providing some analysis for every piece of evidence. It's short, it's one sentence, and it will make your writing so much better.